The Charlotte Hornets hold the second overall pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, and while they missed out on the chance to draft one of the best prospects basketball has ever seen, they still have a chance to draft a game-changing prospect. The debate seems to be centered around two names at the second overall pick: Alabama wing Brandon Miller, a tall wing with elite perimeter shooting upside, point of attack defense, and secondary passing potential, and Z-League Ignite guard Scoot Henderson, a primary playmaker with elite athleticism, feel for the game beyond his years, and elite skills as a creator for himself and others. Both are really good prospects that are ranked highly in this draft for good reason, but to me, this isn't even a debate. The Hornets should take Scoot Henderson. Scoot is younger by over a year, he has more solidified traits as a creator off the dribble, he has more upside as an athlete and playmaker, his feel for the game is once again beyond his years, and overall is just a better prospect right now while having a higher ceiling, and that's no disrespect to Brandon Miller. He's a great prospect in his own right that's worthy of going top 3. It just speaks to how special of a prospect Scoot Henderson is in my opinion. He's one of the 4 best prospects I've ever evaluated since 2016, with Luka, Victor Wembanyama, and Zion Williamson being the only ones I have ahead of him, and I believe that Scoot is a prospect that has a chance to be a franchise-altering player, and the Hornets can't afford to pass up on that. I know what you're thinking, the Hornets already have guards. Well, first of all, I don't think Terry Rozier should be stopping you from taking Scoot Henderson. Terry has been a good player since joining the Hornets, but it's clear that while he is putting up numbers, those numbers don't translate to winning, especially as the main option scoring-wise, because the Hornets have missed the playoffs every year since he joined the team. On top of that, he's going to be 30 years old next season, so he doesn't fit the timeline for the Hornets. I don't think that a near 30-year-old guard that's solid but has also proven his production doesn't lead to wins should stop you from taking one of the best point guard prospects of the last 15 years. But then you might say the Hornets already have a point guard in LaMelo Ball, and he won't fit well with Scoot Henderson. I love LaMelo Ball. He's a great player, and one of the few real building blocks that they have outside of Mark Williams, but I don't think you should be worrying about fit when you have the second overall pick. The Hornets should know this because they got LaMelo Ball because a team took someone at the second overall pick because of quote-unquote fit. Granted, I don't think it's exactly the same. Brandon Miller is a significantly better prospect than James Wiseman was, and I do think Miller has a high floor and has the ceiling of being a star in this league. But I think Scoot Henderson has all-NBA to MVP kind of potential, and you don't pass up on that kind of potential at the second overall pick. Because in most years, Scoot Henderson would go first overall more than likely. He grades out as a better prospect than Paolo Banchero, Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards, and DeAndre in the last 4 first overall picks. Since 2018, there are only 2 drafts where I believe he wouldn't be the top prospect in the class. 2018 with Luka, and 2019 with Zion. And even with 2018, Luka didn't go first overall. And that might be the case with Scoot if he was in that class as well, but the point still stands that the only 2 drafts he likely wouldn't be the top prospect since 2018 are the ones with a guy who had one of the best college seasons ever at 18 years old and an 18-year-old that won MVP in the second best league in the world. And when it comes to fit, I actually think it will work out better if the Hornets do draft Scoot Henderson when it comes to him with LaMelo Ball. Because LaMelo is a taller guard at 6'7", he has the height to play the 2-guard spot. On top of that, I do think they help each other out in terms of strengths and weaknesses. Scoot Henderson isn't a good 3-point shooter, even if he has more encouraging signs than given credit for. LaMelo is a really good 3-point shooter. He shot 37.6% from 3 on 10.6 attempts per game this season, which, given the degree of difficulty and most of those shots being off the bounce, is really impressive. LaMelo isn't a great finisher at the basket in terms of playing through physicality. Scoot Henderson will enter the league and immediately be one of the most physically gifted guards that can generate rim pressure. So they fit in terms of helping each other's weaknesses out. I'm not saying that it will be a perfect fit off the bat. It will take time to adjust and learn, but they both are still extremely young players, and it's not a good team, so you have time to make it work and figure out how it will work. And they both are extremely high feel for the game players. So I'm willing to bet on two of the smartest young guards I've ever seen figuring it out. I think the idea of a backcourt is simplified to a playmaker and a shooter, which is fair considering that's what the most successful dynasty of the last 10 years in the NBA is built off of. But you look at teams now, and it's not completely the case. The Sixers almost made to the conference finals, and I think they would have gone to the finals if they beat Boston, and their backcourt is James Harden and Tyrese Maxey. The Cavs had their best non-LeBron season since 2000, building around a backcourt of Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. The Celtics are contenders, and they have Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown, two guys that create. The Suns made it to the finals and had a 64-win season with a backcourt of two creators in Chris Paul and Devin Booker. All of these cases are different. I'm not saying that they're all the same. These are differing levels of players and differing levels of success. But the point is, you don't need to build a backcourt around the idea of being in a box of convention. If you have two players that can create for themselves and others, I think you're going to be in a good spot, and the Hornets have a chance to do that in this draft. Do I think that it will be a good fit off the bat? No, I think it will take time to adjust and figure it out. But again, the Charlotte Hornets have time to figure it out. They're not going to be good next year, even if they draft Scoot Henderson. So it's more about figuring it out and going through that rebuilding process. It's not about, making it work right away. And I'm not saying that the other prospects in this class are bad. Far from that. I think Brandon Miller is a great prospect. I think the Thompson twins are great prospects. I think this is a great draft in general. There are guys that are going to go in the 15 to 20s range that have lottery grades as prospects. This is a really deep draft class. But for the Hornets, I truly believe it would be a mistake to pass on Scoot Henderson at the number 2 pick. You're picking top 2 in the draft for a reason. You aren't good. You need a guy who can change the trajectory of the franchise. And you did it already with LaMelo at pick 3. But you need another piece. And at pick 2, Scoot Henderson is a player who can be that more than anyone else that will be on the board when they pick. I could very well be wrong about this. I usually am, because that's a part of it. You only get about 10% of the draft right, no matter how much work you put into evaluation. And only time will tell with these things. But based off what I know, the history of prospect evaluation and the draft processing in general, there is no other pick for the Hornets to make at second overall. That may sound bold. That may sound like I'm downplaying other prospects, but at the end of the day, they need somebody that can change their franchise. And Scoot Henderson is that player. But that's the end of this video. If you made it to this point, thank you so much. Again, haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, I'm notified whenever I release a video. I'm making videos about basketball all the time, so that's something that interests you. I really think you enjoy this channel. And liking and subscribing are the two best ways you can help me out, helps grow the channel, helps me out in the YouTube algorithm, so YouTube will recommend the video to others, especially if it gets 100 likes. So let's aim for that goal if we can. I would love to hear your thoughts though about Scoot Henderson in the comment section below. What do you think the Hornets should do at pick 2? Should they take Scoot Henderson? Should they take Brandon Miller or one of the Thompson twins? Do you think that if they want Brandon Miller because he fits better, do you think they should trade down to pick 3 or pick 4 to get Miller and get assets in return at least if you don't feel comfortable taking Scoot? We'll do all that in the comment section below, and any feedback in general about this video. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.